All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're looking at a fantastic guide compiled by Andy Schaefer over at saleshelp911.com. We're going to take a really hard look at the modern sales landscape and honestly dismantle some of those deeply entrenched myths you see floating around the industry. So, if you've been feeling that familiar sting of a dry pipeline or, the anxiety of missed quotas, you are absolutely in the right place. But first, we really need to look in the mirror. You got to ask yourself, are you secretly hunting for a shortcut? Are you out there searching for some magical easy button to somehow dodge the pain, the rejection, and just the sheer everyday grind of a dry pipeline? Look, it's totally human nature to want the path of least resistance, right? Especially when the alternative is picking up the phone and interrupting a total stranger's day. But hoping for an easy way out, that's literally a one-way ticket to frustration. Because here's the reality of the modern elite salesperson. These top-tier pros, they know for a fact there is no easy button. They aren't just sitting around waiting for inbound leads to magically drop into their laps, and they definitely aren't hiding behind automated email blasts. Instead, they rely on balanced, absolutely relentless action. They take total ownership of the things they can actually control, their activity levels, their mindset, and their daily execution. Okay, so here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. The case for prospecting. 2. The fanatical mindset. 3. Breaking the false choice. 4. The perfect phone call. And 5. Overcoming the 3 Ps. Let's kick things off with Section 1, the keys for prospecting and why your pipeline is absolute king. Just look at this stark 80-20 rule. 80% of all sales are generated by just the top 20% of performers. I mean, think about that for a second. Why do these superstars completely dominate? Is it just raw natural talent? Or maybe better territories? Nope. It's because they proactively and fanatically prospect. They keep their pipeline so entirely stuffed that they never, ever have to operate from a place of desperation. They get that an empty pipeline just leads to bad decisions and totally lost leverage. And that brings us right to the universal law of the 30-day rule. Basically, what you do today, the calls you make, the doors you knock on, the messages you send, that all pays off for the next 90 days. So your future doesn't actually lie in your past, it lies in your present actions. If you decide to get lazy today, or if you fall into a slump and just stop prospecting this week, sure, you might feel fine right now, but you are going to pay a massive price for it 3 months down the line when your pipeline suddenly inevitably runs completely dry. Moving right along to Section 2, the fanatical mindset, focusing on the 7 core mindsets of top prospectors. So these 7 traits, think of them as your mental armor. Fanatical prospectors are relentlessly optimistic, highly competitive, totally confident in their value, thirsty for knowledge, fiercely systematic, and highly adaptive. Let's be completely honest here for a second. Prospecting kind of sucks, right? It's full of rejection, it's full of friction, but elite sellers, they just get over it. They fiercely protect their golden hours, that prime time carved out solely for revenue-generating activity, and they actually make things happen, while average reps are busy complaining. All right, Section 3, breaking the false choice between cold calling and social selling. I mean, you hear this debate constantly, right? People yelling, cold calling's dead, you gotta do social selling, or social selling is total fluff, just make 100 cold calls. It's a completely false choice. Honestly, it's like a master carpenter standing in front of a toolbox, agonizing over whether to use a hammer or a screwdriver to build an entire house. It's ridiculous. Cold calling gives you that high-volume outbound interruption, while social selling offers deep research and relationship building. Why on earth would you voluntarily cut your arsenal right in half? Because the real truth is, elite sellers integrate. The top 1% are not choosing sides in these random internet debates. They orchestrate a beautifully balanced, blended methodology. They'll use social intelligence to research a prospect on Tuesday, they'll interact with their content on Wednesday, and then they'll use all that juicy context to make a highly relevant, highly effective cold call on Thursday. They seamlessly blend that traditional volume with contemporary intelligence. And this integration perfectly leverages what's called the law of familiarity. The fundamental reason you get hit with so many instant objections on a cold call isn't because your product is bad. It's actually because a lack of familiarity makes your outreach feel physically risky to the prospect's brain. But by engaging with their content online, or maybe getting a referral before you even pick up the phone, you instantly lower those defenses. You transition from being just some annoying stranger to a familiar professional. Which leads us to Section 4, the perfect phone call, and the exact 5-step process to nail it.
So based on the incredibly proven methodologies from Jeb Blount's really authoritative guide, Fanatical Prospecting, we know for a stone-cold fact that the phone is not dead. Actually, contact rates are going up. Why? Because people's email inboxes are completely flooded with automated spam, and they are, frankly, starved for authentic human interaction. Listen, if you avoid the phone purely out of fear, you're just gonna fail. It is still the single fastest way to set an appointment and move a deal forward.
You might actually want to take a screenshot of this 5-step framework right now. When you get a prospect on the line, please, whatever you do, don't pause to ask, "How are you today?" That literally just invites a hang-up. Instead, run this exact play smoothly. Say their name, identify yourself and your company, tell them exactly why you are calling. This immediately reduces their stress. Ask for the appointment or the info, and then step 5, this is the absolutely crucial one: shut up. The single biggest mistake average reps make is getting nervous, rambling on, and talking right through the close without letting the prospect actually respond. And when you do speak, your message matters immensely. Be totally transparent and incredibly direct, but make sure you're standing in your prospect's shoes. Use empathetic, emotional words that actually resonate with their specific pain points. Things like flexibility, peace of mind, frustrated, or save time. Never say, "I want to show you our product," because that just screams that you want to pitch them. Instead, say something like, "I want to share some insights that have helped other companies in your industry save time." You've got to make it entirely about them. All right, our final section, section 5, overcoming the 3 Ps to defeat your internal enemies. You absolutely must ruthlessly identify and eliminate these 3 roadblocks. First up, procrastination. Delaying the hard work of dialing just because you'd rather alphabetize your CRM. Second is perfectionism. Spending 3 hours crafting the perfect email instead of realizing that done and sent is vastly better than perfect and unsent. And third, paralysis. That's overthinking your approach until you literally do nothing at all. You conquer these by totally blocking out distractions, fiercely protecting your time, and just taking immediate messy action. I absolutely love this quote because it embodies the whole philosophy. When it's time to go home, make one more call. This simple, incredibly gritty dedication is exactly what separates the elite 1% from the average masses. It proves a super basic rule of sales. The more you prospect, the luckier you get. Because hey, that one extra call, that might just be the massive deal that makes your entire quarter. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to chew on today. Are you going to continue making excuses, searching for shortcuts, and arguing online over which single sales tool is the absolute best? Or are you finally ready to embrace the hard work, pick up the phone, leverage that social intelligence, and actually master the art of the integrated sale? The choice, and quite literally your future pipeline, is entirely in your hands.